Max Kellerman, who jumped ship and moved to LA and, became a Lakers fan. You might as well become a Cowboys fan, too, while you're at it, Max. Stephen A., I'll come to you first because, you showed your true colors here. Are you impressed with the Knicks? Are you excited about them?
I'm very excited. Max Kellerman, that's right. I'm very excited. Max, that's right, Max. I don't know if you've noticed, but over the last 5 games, the New York Knicks have won 4 of their last 5. But the Brooklyn Nets have lost 4 of their last 5. Let me tell you something, Max Kellerman. I know the Brooklyn Nets got all the talent. I get it. They got all the talent. But I'm watching Julius Randle here. 22, 11, and 7 on 50% shooting, 40+% from three-point range. He's playing like an all-star. That's right, I said it, Max. Julius Randle is playing like an all-star. This could, did you see Austin Rivers? He's shooting about 46% from three-point range. He's come off the bench, hit some big shots Saturday night against Indiana, hit a couple of big shots last night against Atlanta. Atlanta's no scrub. In the 4 of those 5 victories, they beat Milwaukee for their first win of the season. Obviously, they beat Cleveland. They beat Indiana, a playoff team. Atlanta has looked pretty good, but struggled against those New York Knicks, who, by the way, Atlanta beat Brooklyn. Now we get to the Brooklyn Nets. Max, KD's averaging 28. He's KD. We all know he's all-world. Kyrie's averaging 26. I'll tell you what I noticed about Brooklyn. I see Kyrie shooting more shots than KD. I see Kyrie shooting definitely more in the fourth quarter than KD. And I see a team that's struggling defensively, and we've got analysts, not me, but we've got others that have called the Nets soft. Plus, you ain't going to have Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, you still got Karis LeVert because that brother can play, and here with Kyrie and KD is a lot to love. But the bottom line is this. There's some trouble in Brooklyn. So it's entirely plausible, Max. It's entirely plausible that the Brooklyn Nets can win 45-plus games out of the 72-game regular season, go to the postseason, and still have a disappointing year because they didn't go to the finals. But the New York Knicks can end up winning about 36 games, being a 500 team, making it to the playoffs, and guess what? They'll be looking up. They've got an upside because nobody's expecting anything from them. And by the way, this dude Quickly out of Kentucky, the brother can play.
Manuel Quickly is no joke.
That's right. They got him. So guess what, Max?
They pulled that draft day trade.
I'm not sold on Obi Toppin, which I told you about. But I like the effort. Tom Thibodeau got them boys playing hard. They're a top 5 defense in the NBA.
RJ Barrett.
You understand what I'm saying? They're dead last in three-point field goal attempts, but like 11th in percentages made. I'm just looking at the Knicks right now. As hard as he's got them playing, the way that they're competing, I'm pleased, Max. And I wanted to say that. As a native New York and a New York Knicks fan, I am very pleased thus far with the job Tom Thibodeau and his coaching staff has done. I'm happy.
You are, like when you look at the Knicks, why have they been so bad for so long? And I blame Dolan, right? But in fact, Stephen A., I blame you. And I blame people like you. You make fun of Cowboys fans. They get a win, all of a sudden they're going to win the Super Bowl. You're sitting here because the Knicks won a couple games? Because they're playing hard? You say you're more excited about them than the Nets? Let me encapsulate this for you, okay? One team, the Knicks, if they keep this up, will be competing for the play-in, not the playoffs, the play-in game. The other team, the Nets, will be competing for a championship. Losing Dinwiddie stinks because with Dinwiddie, LeVert, Harris, Kyrie, and KD, that's the most unguardable, by far, starting 5 in the NBA. Losing Dinwiddie hurts, although I always thought he should have been off the bench and LeVert should be in the starting lineup. Nevertheless, the Nets have their 2 main pillars still. And they will be just fine. You're right, just fine may be underachieving. It may be not winning enough playoff series, but that's where they're heading. The Knicks, meantime, Stephen A., Thibodeau's going to get these dudes to play hard. We already knew that, especially the first couple weeks of the season. Are they still going to be playing hard at the end when they're burnt out, or are they young enough with fresh enough legs to keep it up? Because we know Thibodeau is a demanding coach. He's a very good coach, but he's demanding. And the criticism has been, and I don't think it's been unfounded, some of those teams get worn down by the end. Not everyone is Jimmy Butler.
True.
We'll see. If they don't, they'll be competing for a play-in game. And you have the nerve, what do you call it? The unmitigated gall to come on national television and come out here and talk about you're more excited about the Knicks than the Kyrie Irving KD
No, I didn't say
Nets.
that. I didn't say more excited. I said I'm very pleased with the Knicks, number one. Number two, I've never talked about the Knicks with the championship. I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan that just wet the bed yet again and go, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? No, I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude. I keep things in its proper perspective. All I'm trying to say is, damn, Max, 1973, bro. 1973, the last time there was a championship. I have suffered. I'm admitting I've suffered. And the fact that there's any kind of silver lining right now has me pleased. Right. I see a culture developing, and I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah, you know what your take is, Stephen A.
Brass lining, but okay.
It's very cute. It's a little bit embarrassing.
You got to be tuned in. He may do something wild. There's a different energy to this man's game.
He came out looking like a man on a mission.
Yeah, he is eating the Blazers for dinner tonight. Draymond finds him another three. 62!
You the Jordan meme, right? I take all that personally.
Get it, Steph. Taking 2021 seriously, guys. 62. And here's the thing. It wasn't just against anybody. It was against the Blazers, a really good team. So, Stephen A., what did the performance tell you about him?
Well, it just reminded me that this is the greatest shooter since mankind existed. I've never seen a shooter greater than Steph Curry. I mean, it's off the dribble, it's spot up, it's anywhere on the floor, it's his movement without the basketball, it's catch and shoot, it's taking you off the dribble, it's spotting up. This brother is the greatest shooter we have ever seen, period. And when you take that into consideration and you just tickle your imagination as to when Clay gets back, the Golden State Warriors will be back at the very least in the conference finals because they're just too lethal of marksmen to ignore. I want to put this into consideration. Steph Curry is considered to be struggling. He is averaging 32 points on 45% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three-point range, and that's considered struggling. Oh, by the way, he's shooting 98% from the free throw line. I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This is who he is. The first 10 years of his career, this man has shot better than 40% from three-point range. The first 10 years of his career. We celebrate people who do it once. And this dude did it the first 10 years. He is the greatest shooter man has ever seen. I know it sounds hyperbolic. It's not. It is not an exaggeration. I don't care whether you bring in Bird, whether you bring in Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin. I don't give a damn. There has never been a shooter this great. And when Clay gets back, look the hell out. Golden State is going to be immediately back in championship contention. And by the way, I like that kid Wiseman.
Well, he's clearly the greatest shooter ever. He's a mobile artillery unit because he can go get his own shot, and he invented shooting it from a million miles away, which created even more space. You know, everyone's like, how can you change the NBA? Make it a 4-point shot if it's farther away. So it didn't occur to people, no, it's all right to shoot it from 10 feet behind the arc if you can hit it regularly, which he can, which opens up the whole offense. He revolutionized the game. And by the way, for years, I thought he was not a clutch shooter, Stephen A. I saw it in the playoffs. I don't care what anyone says. You go back and look at the highest leverage moments. I thought, why is Steph not as good here as he normally is? Shooting the ball. Even that started to change. Even that started to change. You know, that started to change. Given enough reps, he's now deadly in the clutch with the ball in his hand. It wasn't always that way. It is now. This is what I was thinking yesterday. This is what I took from the performance. And like a lot of people, I was watching football and keeping track of, God, Steph went for what, 31 at the half? Now he's up to 40-something. Now he's up to 50-something, 62. Stephen A., there have been more athletic point guards than Steph, obviously. Allen Iverson or Russell Westbrook, MVPs, who are clearly more gifted athletically overall, right? There have been better two-way point guards than Steph Curry. Chris Paul or Isaiah Thomas, right, or John Stockton. There have been players who've done a lot of what Steph has done. Steve Nash. Although Steph is really Nash 2.0 because he doesn't need to monopolize the ball. It doesn't stick with him, and he shoots it even better than Nash. But when I look at the history of the NBA, you take away Magic Johnson, right? Modern NBA. Take away Magic, who's 6'8", 6'9". He is a point guard, and he's the greatest ever. But I'm talking about of the regular-sized point guards. Steph's the best who ever did it. He's the greatest of all time. And for all the reasons I just mentioned. Ball doesn't stick. Unselfish player who can score from anywhere, who makes all his teammates better shooters. And by the way, he's not a good defender because he's not big. He's wiry. He's not so long. But he plays defense. It's not like he's not there. Go ahead.
Steph Curry the other day in practice, Max, made 105 straight three-pointers. 105
it's stupid.
Straight three-pointers without a miss. Steve Kerr had the joke of the year when he sat up there and said he choked. He didn't get to 106. You understand? 105 straight
anything 105 times in a row.
Can you imagine how motivated he must be having to sit all last year and then Clay goes down? I mean, it's like his back's against the wall, and he's just showing us who he is.
He's motivating the triple team and then trapping him and all of that stuff, but he's special.
Yeah.
Trying to get back to normal, that would mean Steph Curry just making tons of buckets, lots of points. Warriors hosting the Blazers, only their second home game. There's Steph, my handle's good, tough layup, got it to go. Okay, we'll look at it again. Flies by Robert Covington. At this point, Curry had 6 points, which ordinarily isn't something that puts you this high up in sports.
Do better.
All right, in front of Dame Lillard. Okay, we're at 9. So, Ken, we're doing math, as you like to say, because we're just adding up. So 9, and we get 2 more there. 3 guys around him, and he somehow gets them all up and makes the bucket. That's 11. Curry, do I hear 14? Comes off the screen. Pure right there. Curry. So we're good from far out. Look at that. We're nice with the finish.
So we're going to show all 85 points he scored.
Well, he didn't have 85, but we may show all of them. We're going to show you. There's 21 in the